So good afternoon everyone, good afternoon my dear friends. Quickly confirm if I'm audible to all of you or not. So friends, those who are already there in this session, can you please quickly confirm if I'm audible and clearly visible? Come on, please tell me. Yes friends, can you all please confirm if I'm audible as well as visible to all of you? Alright, so Keshav, good afternoon. Yes, so Keshav has just confirmed that I am audible. So friends, welcome once again to the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. Now we are all here to discuss about the last minute preparation techniques, last minute preparation tips for the examination MICAT 2022, which is going to happen on 4th of December. So I am Gourav Gupta and I'll take you through the last minute tips to crack this examination. All right. Now, friends, before I'll go ahead. Okay, so Vicky, good afternoon. Yes, so audio video, cool. Thank you, Vicky. Mayank, thank you. Good afternoon. All right. So, friends, this session is all about the last minute tips to crack MICAT examination. Now, MICAT will be held in so there'll be two examinations that MICAT will be taking. So MICAT 1 is on 4th of December. We already have the admit cards released yesterday. So all of you must be knowing about your centers and the timings of the examination. All right. Now, before I go for the strategies that we should be implementing in each of these sections, let us quickly have a look at MICA program overviews. So let us spend 2-3 minutes on the overview about all these things. So MICA, as we all know, offers admissions to two programs, PGDM Communications and PGDM. Okay. And basically, you will have an option of selecting any one of the programs. If you're selecting both the programs, you'll have to mention the priority. Why I'm telling this? Because MICAT 2 registrations are already open. So after MICAT 1, if in case you have made any mistake in filling up the form, so you will not be repeating those mistakes while applying for MICAT 2. All right. Now, MICAT 1 and MICAT 2, as I mentioned that registrations are already open for MICAT 2. MICAT 1 will be conducted on 4th of December. All right, that is 2 days from now. Important thing is, each candidate must have taken at least one of the three examinations other than MICAT. So these examinations are CAT, XAT, and GMAT. So out of these three, one of these examinations is mandatory to get an admission in MICA. All right. So please plan any one of these examinations. I believe most of you must have taken CAT examination. So that is cool. All right. Now next is the structure of MICA examination. Now, as per the website of MICAT, so I have copied this particular picture from the official website of MICAT. So MICAT does not tells us about the number of questions, okay, but they have clearly mentioned that the examination on 4th of December will be conducted and it will be having three sections. Okay. Now, section A will be psychometric test. Section 2 will be descriptive writing. Section C, which will have four subsections. So the four subsections will be divergent and convergent thinking, verbal ability, quantitative ability, and data interpretation. And the fourth subsection will be of journal awareness. So I can see that these three sections, A, B, and C, and section C having four subsections. So this is similar to what we have seen the previous year. All right. So I'll take you through in this session, I'll take you through what we have seen in the last year, what type of questions were present in each of these sections in the last year, and what will be our expectation from MICAT examination this year. Because this year we are expecting a considerable change in the pattern of MICAT. All right. Now, last year, the pattern of MICAT was different. This year, it may be different. So we'll be discussing about that. Now, once MICAT is over, Then you will be going through GE and PI process based on your performance in CAT, ZAT or GMAT and MICAT examination. All right. So this is the whole selection procedure for MICAT. All right. Now, MICA has uploaded 3 sample question papers on their official website. So you can visit this website and download these sample questions. That will give you an idea about the type of questions that have been coming in MICA examination and the type of question that you may expect on 4th of December. All right. So there are 3 sample question papers. You may download them and have a look at them. Okay. Now, friends, this is a rough pattern that we have seen in MICAT in the previous years. Okay. Now, it might be possible that the number of questions and the time limit may not match, but this will definitely give you a rough idea about the number of questions with the allocated time. Now, last year, MICAT examination, it was conducted for a total duration of 2 hours 45 minutes. That is 165 minutes. All right. Now, for last year, section 1 or part 1 was psychometric test, which had 150 questions to be attempted, I believe, in around 25 or 30 minutes. So I can write 25 here. Now I'll be discussing the previous year patterns as well as what can be the expected paper pattern for this year. Okay. Now part 2 had 4 subsections: verbal ability, quantitative, journal awareness, and divergent and convergent thinking. Divergent convergent thinking was nothing but reasoning section. Okay. Now each of the first 3 subsections, verbal, quant and journal awareness, they had 25 questions each. All right. And reasoning section, the fourth subsection, divergent convergent thinking, had 30 questions. Now each question had a weightage of +1. All right. And a total 105 minutes were allocated for these 105 questions. All right. So time limit was 105 minutes for 105 questions. Now, the third part was descriptive writing, which had 4 questions. Okay. Now, this year you might get 2 questions, you might get 3 questions, you might get 4 questions, or maybe more questions. And this was to be attempted in 35 minutes. All right. So you'll have to write a lot of things in this descriptive writing test. Okay. Fine. So this was the overall rough idea about the pattern that we have seen in the previous years. Okay. Now let's talk about each and every section, what is being tested here, how you should be preparing in the next 2-3 days. Okay, so we are left with 2 days. So the last minute tips for each of these sections, although you all must be prepared. So in these 2 days, you just need to brush up all these things that you have already prepared. Now, some of the students might be targeting this particular examination because of the specializations that are offered in this college. Now Keshav saying, sir, we supposed to attempt these many questions in only 25 minutes. Yes, Keshav, 150 questions, 25 minutes. Each question will not take more than 7 to 8 seconds. I'm telling you, maximum 10 seconds. So 1 minute में 6 questions तो आराम से कर सकते हो. ठीक है? So it is basically the speed at which you'll be attempting. So I'll be also telling you what all things are tested in psychometric test. You don't have to solve for anything. You don't have to think a lot. Okay, just have to quickly read the question and mark the answer. All right. So if you can attempt each of these questions in around 5 to 6 seconds, then that will also be fine to attempt all 120 questions in the allocated time limit. Okay, fine. So let's have a look at each of these sections one by one. So first of all, psychometric test. Last year, 25 minutes were given for 150 questions. Okay. Now, friends, all of you must have received your admit cards. Okay. And while I'm talking to you, I can see at the admit card of one of the students. And this year, it clearly says that the exam timings are from. So just look at your admit cards. So exam timings are 9 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. Okay. So I'll go back to the previous sheet. So this year, the examination timings are 9 a.m. up till 11:15 a.m. So that means the time limit for this exam has been reduced to 2 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, so it has been reduced by 30 minutes. So now a total of 135 minutes will be allocated to you to finish off with all these three parts. Now, frankly, I don't know how MICAT will be distributing these 135 minutes, okay, among these three sections. So I'll just give you an idea, like based on my experience with MICAT examination. I'll give you a small idea about the distribution of timings to be done by MICAT this year. Okay. Now, what I assume that they will not be reducing the number of minutes for psychometric test and the descriptive writing section. All right. They might be reducing the time for the second section, which has 4 subsections. So in psychometric test, my assumption is the number of minutes will be kept at 25 and the number of questions will still be 150. All right. And in this section, the questions are presented in multiple choice format. Okay. Now, basically, they'll be accessing your personal traits, thought procedures, strengths, weaknesses, and judgments. Okay. So this entire paper will be based on you. So you know yourself more than anyone. So this paper will be simple, but make sure that whatever your personal traits are, whatever your thought procedure is, whatever your strengths and weaknesses are, mark the choices which are given to you as per your traits. Okay, so don't try to bluff in this section. All right. Now, you must also answer some of the questions based on your actual education background, life goals, career goals, and your decision making skills, right? Now, if I talk about the last year paper of psychometric test, there were 8 to 10 questions in this section that were based on certain situations and self-rating. Okay, 3 choices were given and you need to choose which option describes them in the best way. अब यहाँ पे क्या होता है साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट में देयर इज नो करेक्ट आंसर ओके सो व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज यू हैव टू सेलेक्ट the best possible answer that matches to your personality trait, your thought procedure, your life goals, career goals, and your decision making skills. All right. So there is nothing wrong, nothing right. So black and white is not present in this section. So you'll have to mark the best possible answer which matches to your thinking. Okay. So basically, they are going to ascertain that the candidate has right sort of attitude to be a part of their management program, their institute. So we have seen this type of test being conducted by a lot of companies at the time of recruitment, right? So HR basically assesses a person's personality traits, okay, about the thinking. If your thinking is I'll not say idle, but if your thinking is correct to join a particular organization. So all these things will be tested in MICAT examination as well. All right. So this is about the first section. I'm not expecting any change in the time limit or the number of questions. Fine. Okay. Now moving ahead to the second section, that is containing of 4 subsections. Okay. So last year, if I'll talk about this particular subsection, so there were 105 minutes allocated to solve a total of 105 questions. The 3 subsections, verbal, quant, and general awareness, each had 25 questions. Okay. And the fourth subsection, convergent and divergent thinking, had 30 questions. So I'll quickly write this particular thing: 25, 25, 25, and 30 questions. Okay, so this is verbal ability, quant, general awareness, and I call the fourth subsection as reasoning. Okay, convergent and divergent thinking. A total of 105 questions to be finished in 105 minutes. Now we are expecting, obviously, the number of minutes has been reduced by 30 minutes. Okay, so it might happen that in this particular section you will have to finish it in around 75 to 80 minutes. Okay, so time limit for this particular section number 2 might change to 75 to 80 minutes. All right, and we may also expect a reduction in number of questions. Okay, so you might have 20, 20, 20 questions in each of these sections. Okay, so I'm expecting that the number of questions will be equal to the number of minutes, which has happened in the previous years. So if the total number of minutes allocated for this section is 80 minutes, then you can expect 20, 20, 20, 20 questions in each of these 4 subsections. All right. So this will be known to us on 4th of December only. All right. So we must be ready. We must expect a change in pattern the way it happened in CAT this year. Okay. All right. Now talking about the content of these 4 sections. So in verbal ability, you were tested on the areas like tenses, articles, pronouns, vocabulary, and reading comprehension. The level of difficulty, make a note of it, the level of difficulty is not too high, so it is easy to medium only. There might be 1 or 2 questions which will be a little difficult. You may leave those questions because you will have only less than 1 minute for every question. Okay, so now let's say if we get 20 questions in this section this year, then the idle time to spend on this section should be 15 to 18 minutes. All right, 15 to 18 minutes, not more than that idle time to spend. So I'm expecting 20, 20, 20, 20 questions in each of these 4 subsections, and I am expecting 80 minutes to be allocated for this section. So 20 questions, 15 to 18 minutes. All right, so this is my expectation for this particular section. So let us first of all go through the content of all these 4 subsections, and then we'll discuss what can we expect on 4th of December as far as the pattern is concerned. So थोड़ा सा और move करते हैं जल्दी. Yes, Vikas, MICAT 2 examination is after that. उसका भी date आ चुका है already. Okay, so you can have a look at the registration deadlines and the date for MICAT 2. All right. Okay. Now, subsection 2 after verbal ability will be quantitative ability. Last year again there were 25 questions, and the topics from which the questions were asked, majority was arithmetic. There were 1 set on data interpretation, some questions of algebra, geometry, trigonometry. Very basic questions were there related to heights and distances. All right, questions from numbers as well as set theory were also present. But again, I'll say that the level of difficulty is not as high as CAT. Okay, so you can say that the level of difficulty here that you will be getting will be slightly above SNAP or Narsi Munji, or it may match their difficulty level. Okay, fine. Now, next section was general awareness, and there were 25 questions again. Now, you all must be prepared on your current affairs, business, and economics. Okay, so these were the 3 areas from which majority of the questions came. Though I have just listed the topics from which we have seen questions in the previous year. Okay, so questions were from geography, sports, politics, history, current affairs. Majority of questions were from current affairs, literature, constitution, and so on, so forth. All right, so this is a total general awareness. All right, now next was convergent and divergent reasoning. There were 30 questions last year. Mayank, no question from probability was there in last year. Okay, so I have basically given you an idea about the topics that we have seen last year, and like there is higher probability that these areas will repeat, but probability was not there. But this year there might be probability. So all of us have already prepared for CAT. Okay, so you might be having basic knowledge of PNC and probability, but there are very less chances that these modern maths areas will be included in MICAT examination. All right, so these are the areas that you must be focusing on. Okay, Yes, Purva, GK has an equal weightage as compared to quant, verbal, or reasoning section. Okay. Yes, definitely, Vicky. GK section will definitely matter. It is a part of MICAT examination. Okay, fine. So, in this section 2, where we have seen 4 subsections, all these 4 subsections have equal weightages. Okay, so none of these areas will be ignored, none of these areas will be eliminated while deciding like if they will give a call to a candidate for the second round or not. All right. Also, one important thing is, if you want to understand the complete selection procedure, then quickly visit MICAT official website, and they have clearly mentioned the weightages of these different sections and subsections. Okay, so you will have a better understanding from there. All right. Okay. Now moving ahead to the last subsection, fourth subsection, which is convergent and divergent thinking. So there were 30 questions last year. The questions were from visual reasoning, sequence and series, complete the series, number series and alphabetical series, and the miscellaneous series. Questions were from data sufficiency, word association, and statement assumption. Now, statement assumption, the portion that we have seen in verbal reasoning. Okay, so this was verbal as well as non-verbal reasoning, a mix of both in convergent and divergent thinking. Okay, right? No, Vicky, we don't have to clear a separate sectional cutoff for GK. So if I'm talking about section 2 has 4 subsections. Okay, and इसमें sectional cutoff नहीं होता. Okay, so it's not like IFT where we had sectional cutoffs. So you just have to get a total score in section 2, which will be considered for the admission criteria. All right. Okay. Now talking about descriptive writing test. Now last year, 35 minutes, 4 questions were there. Okay. So total number of questions that a candidate needs to answer is 4. There is no negative marking. So यहाँ पे descriptive writing में कोई negative marking नहीं है. Psychometric test में भी कोई negative marking नहीं है. All right, fine. So here basically they'll be checking your creative imagination, your thought process, out of the box thinking, and your knowledge on a particular area. All right. Now, if you want to get a hint of the type of questions that were asked in the previous year, like I mentioned, MICAT has uploaded 3 sample papers on their official website. You can download them, and those 3 sample papers will give you a clear picture of the type of questions that are asked in these sections, right? Okay, so these were the 3 sections that you are going to find on 4th of December. All right, now let's talk about expected pattern this year. Okay, so let's talk about it in detail, and then I'll also be telling you idle time to be spent on each of these sections where you don't have sectional time limit in case. So this year, we are going to have a total of 135 minutes, okay, for MICAT 1, right? Now, my expectation is, firstly, psychometric test. Okay, so psychometric test, they might be giving you around 125 to 150 questions to be finished in 25 minutes. Okay, I may be wrong. This might change on that particular day. I'm just giving you an idea about that. Okay, now since this section has a sectional time limit of 25 minutes, so you cannot save time in this section. You'll have to finish all these 150 questions in 25 minutes. All right, now on an average, every minute, if you are able to do 6 questions, then it will take you to 150 questions to be finished in 25 minutes. Also, understand that this section also checks your consistency. So they might be asking you a same question in a different format, in a different way. Okay, so if let's say they have asked you one question as question number 1, so a similar type of question that will be asking you the same thing might be appear as question number 25. So they will also be checking how consistent you are. Okay, so that is why it is important to be natural while answering the questions in a psychometric test. Okay, so मेरे सामने एक क्वेश्चन आया, let's say, so एक basic question पूछता हूँ. So let's say there is a 2000 rupee note that is kept in front of you, like that you saw while walking on a street. Okay, so deserted street था, 2000 rupee का note दिखा. अब क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है कि अब क्या करोगे, एंड दे हैव 3 or 4 डिफरेंट रिस्पॉन्सेज. ओके, नाउ क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 में आपने बोला कि मैं उसको उठा के अपनी पॉकेट में रख लूंगा. क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 में आपने बोला, और क्वेश्चन नंबर 25 जिसने सेम चीज पूछी, सो इन दैट क्वेश्चन you mentioned that, okay, I'll give that 2000 rupee note to a beggar. Okay, in question number 75 they'll ask you the similar thing, and in question number 75 you have shown a personality in which you mentioned that you will give that note and submit it, you'll keep that note and will submit it in the police station. So basically in all the 3 questions you have shown a different mindset. Now this is not required in psychometric test, so you have to be consistent while answering these questions. Okay, fine. Now section 2, which has 4 subsections, so my expectation is we will get approximately 20 questions in all these sections. So 20, 20, 20 and 20, so a total of 80 questions to be finished in 80 minutes. Okay, it might be a plus minus 1 or 2 questions. Okay, so 80 questions in 80 minutes. I'll tell you how many minutes to be spent on each of these subsections. Third, which is descriptive writing. So it may have 3 to 4 questions. Okay, and to be finished in the remaining amount of time, which is 30 minutes. So this is the pattern that I am expecting on that particular day, right? Okay, now if I talk about the second section in which we have 4 subsections. So if we have around 20, 20, 20, 20 questions in each of these sections and a total of 80 minutes, so I can say that in general awareness, where there are 20 questions, you should not be taking more than 5 to 7 minutes. All right, so this section should be finished in 5 to 7 minutes, right? VA section having 20 questions should be finished in 15 minutes. Okay, so 15 to 18 minutes will be absolutely fine for VA section. Okay, now we normally take more than a minute on an average to solve the questions of reasoning and quant. So now the remaining time, that is around 55 to 60 minutes, can be distributed in these sections. Okay, so now let's say if I'm left with 60 minutes, I'll not be distributing this time equally among the 2 sections. So I might give 25 minutes to QA and 25 minutes to reasoning section. Okay, and we'll spend the buffer, the remaining 10 minutes, on the section in which I am strong, or the section which is on easier side. Okay, now that particular thing will maximize your number of attempts and hence will maximize your score. Okay, so I'll be keeping 10 minutes in buffer to spend on a section which is my strong section or the section which is easy in order to maximize my total score. All right, so this is what I'll be doing on 4th of December. Now I'll not be teaching you right now what all you need to study in the next 2 days, but keep things light. Just revise the formulas of quantitative ability. Okay, जो भी main formula है, especially from arithmetic and geometry. Okay, so revise all these things very quickly. All right, attempt any of the mock papers which has a psychometric test. Okay, and just keep reading so that you'll be able to perform in a better way in descriptive writing section. All right, okay, so Purva is asking, can we navigate back to a subsection within the second section? Yes, definitely Purva, since there is no sectional time limit, so you can navigate in that particular area. Okay. So second subsection may, yes, you can go back to the previous questions. You can move to the next section. You can directly go to general awareness section. So it is absolutely fine. No matter, so there is no fixed amount of time that you need to spend on any of the subsections. All right. Keshav, sir, please give some tips for descriptive writing sections, especially argument writing. Now, Keshav, right now I cannot do that. Okay. It's just that they will be checking how much knowledge do you possess. Okay. They'll be checking your creative writing things. They'll be checking your out of the box thinking and so on and so forth. All right. So we'll be definitely conducting a session on descriptive writing, and you will see a lot of examples on YouTube as well as internet for this particular area, right? So friends, that is all from my side for all of you. Now the students who will be taking IFT examination, they can join us for the live analysis, the detailed live analysis, expected cutoff and the difficulty level, exam pattern and good number of attempts of IFT on 5th of December at 2 o'clock. Okay. Now friends, like if anybody who is preparing for CAT the next year is there in the session, or you are watching this session, we have a complete course batch number 5 for CAT 2022 aspirants. So you can join this batch. Students who are specifically preparing for SNAP, Narsi Munji, TISNET, ZAT and IFT this year, they have an exclusive batch. They may join. So these are our online classroom programs and the list of experts that we have on our panel. All right. So you may like, comment, share and subscribe our channel. So friends, quickly press a like button if you like this session. That's all from my side. You can join us on Instagram, Facebook and Telegram and subscribe this channel. Have a good day.